What is up? What it do? What it be, people? You are now listening to Stark Talks, a podcast where everything from what an engineering student does to what engineers do in the industry is answered.
On this episode, we're going to talk about some co-op placements and what co-op is, and talk about how it affects us in the future and what the idea behind co-op and why all universities or most of the universities with a engineering program offer co-op. So to start it off, let's just generalize. What is co-op? So co-op is basically a work but not actual job just before you graduate and you actually go in the industry to work. So co-op basically is a learning experience in the real world, real job experience that you get uh, before you graduate at the time. So for our university, we have co-op after our second years of study. So that's our first co-op term, and it's optional, but it's recommended that you enter the co-op positions right after second year. So that's just a general idea about co-op. You guys want to give in some inputs about what co-op is and what you think of it?
I think for me personally, I feel like co-op is after 2 years of actual study in university, it's all been theoretical, right? We have labs, yeah, the practical portion of the labs, but I feel like co-op is where you learn to apply what you're taught because you don't learn anything unless you actually apply what you were being taught. So I think that is what co-op mainly is about. It's like giving you actual hands-on experience. Anything from you, Philip?
I would say, see, like Bevan right now just mentioned about the experience part, I guess, right? Applying the knowledge you have gained during your years in during your first year or second year, depending on the university you're coming in from. But also, co-op also provides a source of income for many students. I was just looking at a few stats. For example, McMaster claims that on an average, for a 12-month co-op, a student makes 46,000. For 4-month co-op, a student can make around $11,000. So that can obviously be put towards the tuition and so on. So it is a beneficial factor, highly beneficial factor for students that require the finances. And also another thing is it's a beneficial time to network with employers, because there could be a chance that in the future you will be working for those said companies that you're interning or you're doing your co-op terms at. So it's a really nice way to network with employers and colleagues, and to build on the knowledge that you have already gained from uni, and to, as again, as Mevin said, to implement it into the real world.
Yeah, I would agree. Like, co-op is like a great way to get like a head start to our actual careers, and just to experience what it's actually going to be like in the real world. And you might get a different co-op placements or just one co-op placement at one place for 12 months, say, and have it split up over all 3 years. That could be the case, but I know some people that get co-op placements at different places and experience different kind of jobs that can also set them up to what they like and what they don't like. So, for example, if I'm doing a software developer job or a project management job, I can choose whichever one I like and then possibly pursue it further on after I graduate. So I feel like it's a great way to get a head start to like not just an engineer's, any person's career, but mostly engineers, because like our industry is quite vast and like we can do a lot more things. Maybe it's not just focused on one thing. It's a great way to get a head start.
So you would definitely say like doing multiple co-ops, not multiple co-ops, sorry, doing co-ops of different placements instead of doing like one big co-op term at one place would be much more beneficial than doing one big, sorry, wait, let me try that again. Doing co-ops at different places is better than doing your entire co-op at one place, correct?
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, because unless from the get go you know for a fact that this is the direction you want to take, and there's no change of heart with that, right? And you get the opportunity that you're desiring for, I would highly recommend that you stick with it, right? And do your best to increase your chances of getting an employment, direct employment right after graduation from that company. But if you're one that is still not sure, that is still unsure, like Shashwat mentioned, of the streams, because of the vast streams and options that we have, especially as computer engineers, for example, right? In the software world, it's always better to try everything out, to trial and error, depending on how many terms you choose, so that you don't have to go through that process after graduation and in the real world.
I guess yeah, just more co-op placements, the better. It's just my opinion. Like other people might have different opinions in the sense that they just want to do one big chunk and then just come back and finish their studies and just go work. Uh, that might be the case for some people. Some people like taking breaks when they study. So, for example, for us, we have 2 years of studying, and then some people might just do a 12-month or 16-month co-op after the 2 years and take like the whole year off, and then come back to studies later. I know a lot of people that have done that before. So it's just, I guess it's just preference. My preference is that I want to do different placements, hopefully. Or if a place wants me back the year after, I don't mind doing that either. So I guess it just comes down to preference at that point.
I guess then we can go to the next one. Like, how do you apply for co-op, right?
So just to start off, just for our universities, I think it might depend on different universities, but what I have seen generally is like you're given like a portal, kind of like Indeed, kind of similar idea, right? Like a job board portal. And firstly, you have to go through like the sign up process of just having like all the requirements, like the course requirements that the university wants you to have, any extracurricular stuff. Like some universities might have that, some universities might want you to fill out like a list of extracurricular activities. I've heard that too. But for our case, it was just course requirements and having to attend like some special screenings or like presentations which show you how to get into co-op, like interview skills and all that. So that's just our case. Also, you can apply externally just on different job boards. Like I know ZipRecruiter, Indeed, all of them. They have a lot of jobs that come in, which are pretty similar to the job board as well. So that's pretty much it. You guys have anything to add on?
Yeah, I guess. So it completely depends on your university, and it also comes down to that the way our university dealt with it. I guess I kind of liked it only because it was like less hassle for the student body. All we had to do was just sign in with our given logins, and they already had the information from our side that they already needed, and they just had their own job board where we would there were where they would post the different jobs that we could apply for, and we could sort them however we wanted. There were people in our batch that was applying for 8 months, some applying for 4, other for 12, and using that, we were able to filter it and apply for the jobs that we wanted to. Philip, you were saying?
Yeah, I was gonna say the process that Shasha and both even you mentioned now is similar for most universities. Only difference is the timing, right? And for example, I believe Shasha, when we started off, said we apply after second year is done, whereas like Waterloo, for example, applies second semester onwards of first year, right? And they also we have the option to apply from Jan to up until April, end of April. Whereas like Waterloo again, they do it on a 2 week span, right? So you can apply. They give you 2 weeks. You apply during the 2 weeks, then you get 2 weeks off where you wait for the reply, and then another 2 weeks, and so on. So it's more. Really again, as both of you guys said, it depends on the uni, but the process of like applying to the job on the job board, and so on is the same for all unis.
Yeah,
It
good.
was very stressful.
Yeah, this is stressful. Like
It's the anxiety and like the anxiousness behind like waiting for the response is what I believe brings in a lot of stress, along with the semester load that you have already on.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
yeah, that's what I think. Like it's great timing for us to do this because we're actually going through this process right now, and the best way to like show what happens in the process is when you're actually in it, right? So when
Yeah.
we're actually in it and we know like the inner workings, we know what's happening, right? We know when to like we know where to apply, we know when to apply, like when not to apply, or even if you get one, we'll know that after. But still, we know like what happens and what's gonna happen with it.